Hey everybody, welcome to Stock Abilities. Today I'm going to be covering Square, and if you want more videos about Square and other tech companies, make sure to like, subscribe, and share in the comments your own feedback. I'm mentioning Square since about $34 a share, if not lower than that. You read more about that in my Discord channel that I'll link to in the description below as well. Square has been going up steadily throughout the whole year, had a little bit of a pullback finally. We're going to go into details about that here in just a second. Just a quick overview with the new point of sale system and some of the features, kind of widespread. It's more focused towards small businesses, medium businesses, and I'll get more into detail on that in just a second. But as you can see, there's a lot of different features going on with it. The main focus is that it's a payment processing service, sort of like PayPal. There isn't a whole lot to that aspect to it. Pretty simple and straightforward. Hopping into the next page here, their main markets are more like US, Canada. It doesn't really go too far overseas at this point, but I believe in the future it will be expanding. We'll see how that goes. There's a little bit more details here, inexpensive chip readers and all that kind of stuff. Basic overview of it being around since 2009. And it's been kind of growing since then. It had a real spike from 2016 to 2017. Gives details about the fees and all of that. Fees are relatively low. Unfortunately, recently it's been having a little bit of a volatility aspect. However, this isn't just Square, this is the entire tech market. You can see this in many other stocks going on around this time frame from about the 24th, 28th, and then into December. And although it might seem bad, a lot of them have similar. As you can see, this is with Adobe back in 2016 from upwards of $94 all the way down to $76, then right back up again and continuing on further all the way up to $179 at its current point. It was actually a similar reaction to Square here. Went from 185 down to 175 and then is slowly going back up, as we're going to see through a lot of the tech stocks this coming week. You can see here, this is the supposed reason why the stock was down. It was a cryptocurrency issue ran by a crypto rally, and they believe that Bitcoin's not going to be too popular later. And they jumped on the trendy cryptocurrency, which makes no sense because it's been going up all year, and a lot of the Bitcoin news is fairly recent, at least the more major stuff that they were implementing. So the rally has nothing to do with that. The movement's nothing really significant in relation to that. The real reason they're not really mentioning is the tax bill. They pushed it down to a supposed $30 entry point as to what the real value of a Square is, just so they can get in cheaper. The tax bill is a real push, and since it passed this week, over the weekend, you're likely to see a big jump in stocks, not only in Square, but in all these other ones like PayPal and any other large tech stock you can think of. Alibaba was down pretty heavily as well, as you can see here. The Flynn thing was going on too. Another political thing, really not that significant to tech stocks, but it impacts them for some reason. No real value reason. The Bitcoin-inspired rally, it wasn't really a rally from Bitcoin. Once again, this is kind of a fictitious push from hedge funds and market makers and things like that. So I disregard comments like this. In the long term, they're not going to really play that much of an impact in the valuation of Square and the fundamentals. We're going to go a little bit further here. As you can see with the futures markets, a lot of them are up, and that's a good sign for into Monday and the rest of the week. Might see a little bit of a Santa rally coming up here. Some of the things that you don't really hear much about are the deal with Eventbrite. Eventbrite's basically host different events, essentially, and the deal with them, a little brokering deal from the processing payments from all the ticketing services. Goes into details here about some of the different events and all of that stuff, and gross ticket sales this year. This is a big impact here. and it can Square will get a little bit of a piece of all of this over time. You can read more about that if you'd like. Just going over a quick overview here. I won't get into too many specific details. The Square Register is a very important thing that came out recently. They mentioned it in early November. The dual screen and improved connectivity. More details here. They got a nice flashy little website. Payments, point of sale service, software, hardware, all by Square and built for security and reliability. You guys might have seen something like this, a variation of it in a lot of small businesses. They've been expanding over the past years here, so it's growing over time, and I feel it has more mass appeal than PayPal and what PayPal is doing. I feel eventually that this will surpass the value of PayPal, but I don't think it's coming up in the next couple of years, probably in the next 3 to 5 years. Goes into a lot of details here and all the specific highlights and integration with other apps and all this stuff. Fast and easy to use, nothing too complicated, nice inventory management system, custom rates and all of this kind of stuff. Something else to notice here is that each and every quarter Square has been surpassing the earnings. It even beat Wall Street expectations recently, and that helped with the real big jump in regards to Square. It had nothing to do with crypto. Going a little bit further here, Square and GoDaddy forge a crucial partnership, and the highlights here, let me see if I can find it here. Alright, GoDaddy currently boasts 17 million customers across the world. That is a huge number of customers, and with the point of sale systems, this could be a big jump in profits for Square as well as GoDaddy. Both stocks should be going up quite significantly into the end of the year and into next year. Both are relatively good investments since they're going to be tying pretty closely to each other. 1% of 17 million is a lot of sales for their point of sale systems. So even at a very low conversion rate, they're going to be making a lot of money in regards to that, plus the Eventbrite, plus the other stuff going on, plus their normal clients and their current clients. This is a lot of flow of money. That's why their quarterly sales keep going up and the revenues. If you want to learn more about Square and all that, you can check out their press releases right on their page. I believe that covers pretty much everything I wanted to cover with Square. If you want more information, just check out their page and leave your own input in the comments below if you feel I overlooked something. Thanks for listening in, and have a nice day here. My projections before I go, just here, I'm expecting this to actually hit close to 70 into next year, probably closer to around this time next year. I don't see it hitting it by the end of the year. You might see 60 by the end of the year, but then kind of a little bit of a bleed, bounce out, and then a kind of a growth throughout the year. Because keep in mind, it went from 13 to 48, but it took many months to do that. The real jumps were towards the end of the year, in the summer months into near the holidays here. Have a nice day. Thanks for listening in.